This morning, CDOT is preparing to make changes along a busy section of I-25.
9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez is live near that area. Brianna, when can we see these changes along the stretch?
You know, by spring or summer of 2027, so it could take a while. And Erica, like you and I have mentioned in the past, this area has seen tons of traffic, lots of crashes. And the problem that CDOT and CSP see every day is all the congestion, all the traffic, and just not enough space up and down I-25. So the latest high-profile incident that we've covered here, we know happened less than a month ago, which you might remember caused a mess for that morning drive. So the first one happened just before 4 along I-25 and 84th Avenue after CSP and Thornton police assisted with a stolen pickup truck. So southbound I-25 was closed for more than 2 hours. And then almost 2 weeks later, in that same area, Colorado State Patrol was called out to the scene just after 4 of a car fire on the northbound side of I-25 and 84th Avenue. That car went off the side of the road and hit a wall. We know that driver died on scene. Now, you guys, since 2012, CDOT has seen nearly 2 crashes per day, most of them rear-end crashes and side swipes. They say more than 200,000 cars travel through this area daily, with existing and growing traffic volumes combined with the increase of population. CDOT says that the demand will exceed capacity by 2050.
They're not going to save a couple seconds by going so fast because they're going to cause a crash and cause traffic delays for everybody else around them. As far as speeding goes, you can also cause injury to somebody, of course, because you know that's less reaction time and more risk for injury.
So some of the changes that CDOT is considering include creating wider shoulders to give emergency responders and disabled vehicles more room, widening the express lanes to allow more time to merge, replace the 88th Avenue Bridge, plus add a 4th lane on I-25 between 84th and Thornton Parkway. Now, we know a final design has not been finalized according to Colorado Department of Transportation. They tell us first they want to do a public hearing just to get the public's input, because that is the most important thing, especially if you travel up and down I-25. If you want to give your input, they're having another meeting later this fall. They haven't set a time or date yet, but of course we're going to keep you updated. And then that's when they could finalize that design and then start construction sometime, hopefully in 2027. So we'll keep you updated with all the changes that we see up and down I-25. For now, I'm live here in Adams County. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
Brianna, thank you so much. Right now, CBI needs your help in finding this missing senior. 73-year-old Montserrat Alvarez de Solis was last seen Sunday around 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the area of 21st and Dexter. She is possibly wearing blue jeans, a jean jacket with green and blue writing, and gray shoes. We're told that she has a cognitive impairment and needs medication. If you see her, you're asked to call Longmont Police. Their phone number, 303-651-8501.
Right now, Aurora police are investigating a deadly hit and run that happened late last night. It happened just before 10 p.m. on the westbound side of Colfax near the on-ramp to I-225. When officers got there, they found the woman already dead. They haven't found any witnesses, and they don't have a description of the car that hit her. Anyone with information on this deadly hit and run is asked to call Metro Crime Stoppers. Their number is 720-913-7867.
Aurora police is also asking for the public's help to find the suspect in a deadly shooting. Aurora police say 30-year-old Michael Castellano Fanesca forced his way into an apartment around 3 o'clock Sunday morning near Colfax and 225 and fired several shots. There were 2 adult women and 5 kids inside. A 26-year-old woman died and a 30-year-old woman was taken to the hospital. None of the children were hurt. APD says he drove away in this vehicle. It's on the screen right now. It's an Acura MDX. It's green and it's got the license plate CVO 668. Police say that he is considered armed and dangerous, and anyone with information about where he is or his vehicle is, you should call 911 immediately.
New this morning, it is back to school for thousands of students across Colorado, and that means school buses are back on the roads. Troopers want drivers to know a new law is now in effect to help keep kids safe. Students in Aurora start classes this week. CSP is urging drivers to pay extra attention around school buses. A new state law requires you to stop for a bus with flashing red lights, even if you're coming from the opposite direction, unless there's a physical barrier or a raised median between the lanes. Last year, CSP issued 15 citations for drivers failing to stop. This year, they've already written 9 through May. Here's a quick refresher on when to stop for a school bus. This is important. So you must stop at least 20 feet away when you see those flashing red lights. You must stop even if you're on the other side of the road, unless, like we said, there's a raised or depressed median or barrier divides traffic. Remain stopped until the red lights are turned off, and use caution as kids may still be crossing nearby.
The woman accused of improperly storing bodies in her funeral home could change her plea today for one of the many charges that she's facing. Carrie Halford and her husband John own the Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose. The plea change is for federal charges related to the misuse of COVID funds. She pleaded guilty to wire fraud in 2024, but then withdrew her plea in favor of a trial. In June, her husband John was sentenced to 20 years for that same charge.
The need for water in Colorado is nothing new. And now one northern Colorado water district is looking at underground water storage to improve the region's water supply. That's according to some reporting by our partners over at the Gazette. The Fort Collins Loveland Water District has partnered with Front Range H2O to develop an on-demand groundwater supply, aquifer storage, and recovery system. It's being called the Vita H2O project. Officials say the underground water will not evaporate, unlike some other storage systems like reservoirs. This means that they can pull water during very dry years. The project started more than 5 years ago. The goal is to have it finished in 3 years.
A series of problems impacting Sloan's Lake has postponed the annual Dragon Boat Festival this year. We first reported on this last week. A spokesperson tells us if conditions at Sloan's Lake continue deteriorating, other options might have to be considered. This has been ongoing since 2020 when officials evaluated existing conditions like increased blue-green algae blooms and fish kills. Because of this, the festival was moved from its usual July dates into September. It's going to be the 6th and 7th of this year. Organizers say this will be the largest Dragon Boat Festival in the country, with more than 200,000 attendees expected.
Honestly, there's no other lake large enough within the city and county of Denver for us to go to. So unfortunately, if the health concerns do continue to happen at Sloan's Lake, we are going to be forced to have to look outside of the city and county of Denver, which we don't want to have to do.
The city of Denver has allocated $5 million through the Vibrant Denver Bond to support part of the lake's cleanup.
Colorado could soon adopt one of the strictest landfill methane rules in the country. State air pollution regulators are set to vote on what they're calling Regulation 31. It would require smaller landfills to install gas collection systems much sooner than current federal law. It's a move aimed at cutting harmful emissions. Critics argue it's too costly for rural communities, but supporters say the new regulation is key to fighting climate change. The state is planning to hold a virtual hearing on the plan later this month before making a final decision.
Some of the most popular parks in Jefferson County could soon see some big changes. Jeffco Open Space just unveiled a new plan. It's called Conservation Greenprint. It's a 5-year plan to guide trail building, land protection, and park maintenance. It includes new trails, a plan for all abilities, continued focus on forest health, all while protecting rare plant species. County leaders are expected to review and vote on the plan over the next few months.
And we are in store for a dry, hot stretch of weather over the next 5 days. We do have 1 or 2 isolated storms out across the far eastern plains this evening, but we are dry through the week for the metro area and the I-25 corridor. Yes, and the heat is on. We are talking about close to triple-digit heat as we head through the day. As for, again, any type of precipitation, really just 1 or 2 very isolated showers or storms out across the far eastern plains. A few more clouds move in to the metro area and the I-25 corridor this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, a little bit of a cloudy, cool start to the day. Temperatures dropping down into the 60s, but then back up into the upper 90s once again.
Keely, thank you.